Socrates. A life lived in questions. He did not write a single book. He did not leave behind a doctrine or a system. He did not build a school or claim authority. And yet, more than 2,000 years later, his name is still spoken in classrooms, courts, and conversations about truth. Socrates was not executed for violence. He was not punished for treason. He was sentenced to death for something far more unsettling. He asked people to think. To understand Socrates, we must forget the statue, the myth, the legend. We must return to the life of a man, ordinary in birth, radical in character, and uncompromising in conscience. Birth and origins. Socrates was born around 469 BCE in Athens, at a time when the city was rising to its greatest power. He was not born into wealth or nobility. His father, Socrates, was a stonemason or sculptor. His mother, Phanerette, was a midwife. This detail would later become symbolic. Just as his mother helped bring children into the world, Socrates would claim that his role was to help people give birth. Not to children, but to ideas. From the beginning, Socrates belonged to the world of ordinary citizens, not elites. Childhood and education. As a boy, Socrates received the standard Athenian education. He learned reading and writing, music and poetry, physical training and discipline. But even early on, he showed little interest in competition or display. Athens admired confidence, persuasion, and reputation. Socrates was drawn instead to questions. Not how to win arguments, but how to understand life. Athens, the city that shaped him. Socrates grew up in a city obsessed with ideas. Athens was loud, proud, and argumentative. Public debate was entertainment. Rhetoric was power. But Socrates became suspicious of this culture. He noticed something unsettling. People spoke confidently about justice, virtue, and truth, yet could not explain what these things actually were. This gap between certainty and understanding would become the central problem of his life. How Socrates lived. Socrates lived simply. He owned little. He dressed plainly. He often walked barefoot. He did not chase wealth, comfort, or status. He believed that excessive desire distracted the soul. Most of his days were spent in marketplaces, in public squares, in conversations. He spoke to anyone willing to talk, craftsmen, politicians, young students, strangers. His classroom was the city itself. Family and personal life. Socrates was married to Xanthippe, a woman remembered in history for her difficult temperament. They had children together. Despite later caricatures, Socrates was not a recluse or a monk. He lived within the responsibilities of family life. This matters because his philosophy was not developed in isolation, but in the tension between thought, duty, and everyday human struggle. Socrates as a soldier. Socrates was not only a thinker, he was also a soldier. He served in several military campaigns for Athens. Sources describe him as disciplined, courageous, physically resilient. He endured hardship without complaint and reportedly saved fellow soldiers in battle. This side of Socrates contradicts the image of a detached intellectual. He understood fear, pain, and real danger. The method of questions. Socrates never lectured. He asked questions. His method was simple and devastating. He would ask someone to define a concept: justice, courage, wisdom. Then he would gently examine their answer, slowly, carefully, relentlessly, until contradictions appeared. The result was not humiliation, but discomfort. People discovered that what they thought they knew, they did not understand at all. Socrates believed this moment of confusion was essential, because wisdom begins not with answers, but with the courage to admit ignorance. I know that I know nothing. This famous phrase captures the heart of Socrates' philosophy. He did not claim knowledge, he claimed honesty. In a city obsessed with appearing wise, Socrates became dangerous by refusing to pretend. This refusal would cost him everything. Why people turned against him. Socrates gained followers, especially among the young, not because he told them what to think, but because he taught them how to think. This alarmed the powerful. Politicians felt exposed, orators felt undermined, traditions felt questioned. Socrates did not attack the state directly. He destabilized it indirectly by dissolving false certainty. The trial. Eventually, Athens acted. Socrates was charged with corrupting the youth, impiety toward the gods. The trial was public. Socrates did not beg. He did not flatter. He did not apologize. He spoke honestly, and honesty in that moment was unforgivable. Refusal to escape. After being sentenced to death, Socrates was given an opportunity to flee. Friends arranged an escape. He refused. To escape, he believed, would betray everything he had taught. A life saved by injustice was not a life worth living. Death. Socrates died by drinking hemlock, a poisonous mixture. Witnesses describe him as calm. He continued to speak with his students until the end. There were no final speeches, no dramatic gestures, only clarity. What remained? Socrates left no writings. What remained were people. His students, especially Plato and Xenophon, preserved his life and ideas. More importantly, they preserved an example, a life lived in alignment with conscience. Socrates did not teach what to think. He taught why thinking matters, and perhaps that is why, even today, his life still unsettles us, because it asks a question that has no comfortable answer. How much truth can a society tolerate?